Skinamarink is the title of a new movie, but it is not what you think. This is the title of Canada's newest viral horror film. Brad has all the details. I have so many questions about this. Because when you say to a Canadian, Skinamarink, they'll say Skinamarink, right? Like we automatically go into the hand mode.
Yeah, this is not Sharon, Lois, and Bram.
It's the opposite, right?
Well, it's probably the creation of someone who was traumatized by Sharon, Lois, and Bram, and they are unleashing their trauma on us, is what it is.
So this is a $15,000 film. That's how much it took to make, but this has gone viral, right?
Yeah, basically, I mean, Edmonton filmmaker Kyle Edward Ball made this movie in his own parents' home in Edmonton, $15,000, little horror film, and it's going viral. It's people are, like, it went viral on TikTok, and then somehow this $15,000 movie already scared up $1 million in independent rep theaters across the world, which is incredible at this time and age, this age of blockbuster.
Because it kind of reminds me of the same story, The Blair Witch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, similar
exactly
kind of feel. So what's it about?
Well, the movie is, I mean, it's basically tapping into like these primal fears as a child. Like you got two children who wake up in the middle of the night, their windows all of a sudden gone, they can't find their parents, and it's almost like they're trapped in a nightmarish house. And it feels like he's basically recreating what it's like to be a child waking up in the night, right? All of a sudden, the hallways and the corridors seem endless, and you know the light flickering creates menacing shadows, and your toys like that Fisher-Price collar chatterbox toy becomes menacing, and the cartoons you seek comfort from are all of a sudden like creating these bigger shadows for you, and it just all becomes even more frightening. So, and bear in mind, this is a very weird experimental film. Like the least generous review would be like, I'm staring at walls for 2 hours, right? But that's part of him creating this environment of you're just trapped in a nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Who's it for?
So this is for people who love like experimental horror films. Like think of like David Lynch's early work, like Eraserhead and Elephant Man. If you're down to that kind of stuff, then definitely seek this movie out.
Okay, good luck out there. We have Missing that is next, which takes place, my understanding is like entirely on a desktop screen.
So,
and I want to just ask you specifically because you had mentioned this movie. There's this moment that they create one of those famous vertigo shots. Why do you want to point that out?
Well, I mean, like, so to give you context, this is a movie that takes place entirely on a laptop screen, and it's kind of following up on like movies. Like it's a spin-off of a movie called Searching, where John Cho is searching for his missing daughter on the internet by getting up into people's DMs. It's also, you know, similarly, Unfriended really did amazing stuff with this kind of format, right? And so what I'm loving about this thriller where a young girl's looking for her mother, searching for her missing mother, is that it is inventing visual language for this space, right? Like a new way of telling a story where it's finding drama and tension and humor in the way you navigate Google pages and stuff. So, you know, real adapting cinematic narrative language.
And it works?
It works. And what I love about this one is when you mentioned the vertigo shot, the vertigo shot is the dolly cam shot, really famous in Vertigo, where the background comes further, the foreground comes closer. It's also used in Jaws and Goodfellas. They somehow create that in this movie. Between the panels of your windows, they create a vertigo shot at a really significant moment. And I'm like, that is doing something innovative, right?
Cool.
Like, bear in mind, as a thriller, this is a movie that if you're looking for logic and coherence, they stay missing. They're like, you know, like this is a very silly movie, but it's so much fun, partly because they're doing
stylized.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so who's this one for?
So this is for people who loved Unfriended, which I do, is one of my favorite horror movies of recent times, which is also following a similar format, but also movies like Commuter, which is, you know, these are basic thrillers that that know what to do with the camera.
Are you a big horror fan?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when it's right, when it's done right.
When it's done right. Okay. Next up, we've got a concert documentary. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so Ever Deadly is a concert documentary revolving around Tanya Tagaq, right?
Amazing.
And look, like, this is not your average concert doc. You know, like any profile on a musical artist, you get a lot of talking heads trying to tell you, you know, really telling you, like, explaining what the significance of their music is and giving you an A to B biography. This is not that. This is taking one concert for Tanya Tagaq and then also just excerpts from her life, little fragments of her personal life, her community's history, of her poetry, of other visual artists who are contributing to this, and it just creates this collage that deepens and emphasizes and extends her work. And so you don't need anyone to explain the significance of her work. This movie just gives you the significance of it.
Who's this one for, Rad?
So this is for people like Moon Age Daydream and Rolling Thunder Revue. Those are musical biopics that didn't go the standard route, and they just do what they could to emphasize the meaning of these people's work as opposed to like expelling it out for you.
Amazing. Wow, some good picks, some terrifying picks, Rad. Always good to see you.
Skinamarink.
Skinamarink.
Goodbye.
All right.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.